Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome to a new video. I did another eye look with my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I started off thinking I was gonna do bronzy, but we ended up with this really pretty like orange smoky eye that I love. I feel like it really makes the green in my eyes really stand out. I've got nice glowing skin and we went for a pink theme on the face, which is a little bit different for me. I'm usually very monochromatic, so normally I would do like a peachy blush and a very orangey based lip. But yeah, it was fun to do something a little bit different and play around a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you recreate this makeup, make sure you tag me on Instagram so that I can see it. And let's just get into the video. All right guys, so we're gonna start with a little bit of skincare. My skin has been kind of playing me up a little bit. I've been breaking out a little bit on my jaw and I've got like a lot of congestion happening on my chin and my skin's been feeling a little bit extra dry. So I'm trying to really focus on my skincare right now. I'm going to start with a pre-serum. This is the Amore Pacific Bioenzyme Refining Complex. Next, I'm gonna use a serum. This is the Amore Pacific Time Response Serum. I love this stuff. It's very rich, so I can't use it on my skin every day. But when I do notice it making a huge difference. Focus that around my eyes. I've definitely been noticing the skin around my eyes is starting to get a little bit looser, especially on this side over here, which has always been the case. This side has always been a little bit more troublesome than this side. When I'm doing my wing liner, I'm noticing that the skin on the outside of this eye is definitely a little bit looser. So I'm trying to focus on my eye cream and getting my serum in that area. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I'm running out of this and my fingers don't fit in the jar because of my nails, so I'm just gonna use a Q-tip to get it out of here. All right, let's get started with the makeup. So, I think I'm gonna start with my complexion today because I'm not gonna do anything too colorful on my eyes. I really wanted to do something a little bit more on the neutral side with my eyes today. I am gonna use my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette today. So to start, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter and I'm going to apply this to the high points of my face. I've been using Magic Foundation every single day lately because I have it in a deeper shade and I'm still quite tanned from the traveling that I did in January and February. So I am gonna take a pump of Magic Foundation. This is in shade number 7. I'm not gonna do a full pump because I'm gonna mix in just a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, which is more full coverage. I have a full review of this foundation up on my channel. I'll link it up here if you wanna watch it, as well as in the description box down below. I feel like everybody's gonna be looking for content to watch, so if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of that in there as well, mostly because this is too dark for me now, and I really like the coverage of the Airbrush Flawless Foundation to cover up all the breakouts that I have happening. So I'm gonna just mix those two together on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna start buffing that into my skin. For concealer, I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I have this in the shade Vanilla. It's not a great shade for me, but it's what I have. And I'm just gonna use that to cover up some of this breakout as well. And to set that, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Genius Magic Powder. This is in shade number 2. And I'm going to just dip my beauty blender into that and set where I put concealer. Oof, my skin is looking so dry. Okay, and that number 2 powder is quite brightening. So I do want to set my T-zone, but I'm going to use a different powder for that. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. It's her pressed powder. I'm going to take this one in shade number 2, which is a little bit of a darker color. And I'm going to just put that through my T-zone because I do want to brighten up certain areas of my face, but I don't want to have like a big bright nose. So I'm just gonna take this number 2 powder and just sort of set that area, as well as over here where I put concealer as well. All right, let's do a bit of bronzing. I'm gonna take my Dior powder bronzer. This is in the shade 001. And I'm gonna use a brush that's a little bit smaller so that I can be more precise with my placement. And I'm just gonna start at my temples. Kind of bring that up along my hairline. And I'm gonna bring this down onto my cheeks as well. I'm gonna go really softly because I haven't really set this area with powder. So I don't want the bronzer to stick down and make things look patchy or to move the coverage of my foundation underneath. So I'm just being really light-handed in this area here. And lately I've been trying to keep my bronzer a little higher on my cheek than I have before. When I was copying DMV Makeup's look a few videos ago, I noticed that she placed the bronzer quite high on her model's cheek. And when I was recreating that, I liked the look of it. So I've been kind of playing around with my bronzer placement recently. And yeah, just putting it a little bit higher than I might in the past have done. Also gonna take this on my jaw and down my neck. And then with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just gonna run that down the sides of my nose. So I've added a little bit of structure back into our face after we took it all out with the foundation. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and fill in my brows, and then we will come back and start on our eyes. So my brows are actually a disaster right now. I've been growing them out because I didn't like the shape that they were waxed into by the last person who did them. And now I'm not gonna be able to have them done for like weeks, who even knows how long it's gonna be until I can get my brows done professionally. So I'm gonna have to try and clean them up myself with tweezers, but for the meantime, they're just big and bushy, and that's what we're working with. Okay, so let's do a little bit of eyeshadow. I am going to just prime my lids with a little bit of my Laura Mercier eyeshadow primer here. I have mine in the shade Flax. I was planning on doing something with these more red tones in the palette today. I just am not feeling inspired to use those colors right now. However, I'm actually going to, I'm really into these more like coppery colors at the moment. So I want to just do something a little more neutral. And yeah, we're just gonna play around a little bit. So I'm gonna start with my MAC 224, which is a tapered blending brush. And I want a nice transition shade. So I am going to take this color right here, and I'm going to just go ahead and pop that in my crease. So I'm gonna start on the outer corner, sort of up above my crease, and bring that towards the center, and then kind of intercept with the front of my brow up here. And then I'm going to flick that out and up. So I place my brush down first where I want the most pigment, and then I blend it out from there. These shadows are such amazing quality. They blend so softly and smoothly. There's no patchiness happening whatsoever. So I'm really loving this color in the palette right here. I feel like my light, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so the colors aren't as washed out so you can see them a little better. 1 second. Okay, so this color right here I'm really loving. It's kind of orange with a little pink shift to it. Very pretty bronzy shade. And this color right here I feel like goes really nicely with that one there. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that guy and just add it into my crease as well. Maybe I'll leave the light turned down so that we can see the colors a little better. I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. This is a MAC 217, but it's very old and very damaged, so it's a lot more sparse. It's lost a lot of bristles along the way. I'm gonna take it a little bit further down, and I don't want to buff it out as much. And I'm actually still working above my natural crease here to create sort of that artificial crease a little bit higher up. I'm gonna go ahead with this color right here that I've been so excited to use. And I'm gonna take that on this MAC 275 SE. I like this one for packing on color. I feel like it does a really good job of picking up the color from the pan and then letting it go onto my lid. And it's a really nice shape as well for kind of just going right along that crease. I'm taking that from my inner corner to about halfway across my lid. And I do have a little bit of fallout because I was packing that color on, not much, but I'm just gonna dust that up and away. And I feel like I want that color to be a little bit more pigmented. I normally would use my finger, but I've got these giant nails that really need to be done, which I'm also not gonna be able to get done for a while now, which is kind of annoying. So maybe I'll just try a different brush to see if I can just pack on a little bit more of that color. This guy right here, which I got in a palette, I don't even know which one, so I'm gonna try that. Okay, so this is definitely coming off way more orangey than I was planning. I was going for more bronze, but that's okay. I can work with this. I'm really into this color up here. I haven't tried it on my eyes yet, but it swatches so beautifully. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that guy right there on the same brush, and I'm going to take that on the outer corner of my eye and just move towards the center and meet up with the color that we just laid down on the inner corner of my eye and kind of overlap them. And then I want to use a matte color to smoke out that outer corner. So I'm gonna take this color right here. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty on my brush. I'm using this little Real Techniques shading brush for this. I love this. It just fits perfectly on the outer corner. So what I like to do is just stamp the color down. Oh my God, that is so pretty. And then I take my blender brush. I'm gonna go with my MAC 224 and just slowly start blending that out. I'm so in love with this Natasha Denona palette. It's just so inspiring and you can create so many different beautiful looks with it. I'll definitely have a few more tutorials coming soon. It's funny, like I sat down to film this and I was like, I'm not really inspired. I'm gonna do like a neutral eye look. And then as soon as I started playing with it, now I just wanna do like every single color in the palette. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my lower lash line now and then I'll see if I want to add anything else. I'm a big fan of a very smoked out lower lash line and today will be no different. I'm going to go back in with the very first color we used in our crease, that's this one right here, on a pencil brush. And I'm going to bring that underneath my lower lash line and I'm gonna really smoke that out a good amount. I'm gonna bring that nice and far down. When you do your lower lash line, you want to connect it to all the blending that you've been doing on the outer edge. So when I do this lash line, I'm connecting it here with the eyeshadow that I have on top so that everything is really seamless and we're creating that shape that we want. I'm gonna go in with that dark orange, this one right here that I just used on my outer corner. Oh my God, this color is so beautiful. I'm gonna start on the very outer corner of my eye, just like I did on top, and just kind of place the color before I blend it. And then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush. I'm gonna go back in with my little janky MAC 217 and just smoke it out. Beautiful. Okay, so I do feel like I want a little bit of sparkle happening here. I've got the Anastasia I'm Resi palette right here. This color here, Liddy. I'm gonna take a little bit of that and try and get that onto my lid. I'm new to these kind of more glittery shadows. I don't know how to describe them to you, but you know when you swatch them and they kind of stick If you haven't used this palette or a palette like this, you might have swatched something like this in Sephora before. It comes off so pretty on your finger, and then when you try to swatch it, it doesn't really come off very well. It sort of still sticks to your finger. Tons of palettes these days have shadows like this in them, and I've always swatched them at Sephora and been kind of like, I don't know what to do with that. So it's good, I've got it in this palette now. I can kind of play around with them a little bit. I have used this palette before. I will link that video up here for you as well. And I did play around with some of the glittery shades. And I did find that they worked actually better on a brush. So I'm gonna stick with this little flat brush that I've been using, and I'm gonna dip that into Liddy. And then I'm going to press that right on the center of my eye. And I really am gonna press that into my eye so that hopefully it sticks and I don't get a ton of fallout. Oh my God, that is so amazing. That is so beautiful. Oh my God. This is like the perfect color for this look too. I'm gonna try and show you guys that sparkle. Can you see it? Let me turn this back up so that we can reflect the light off the sparkles. So pretty. The camera struggles with the glitter, but oh my God, it looks so good. Okay, and I, for some reason, really just can't leave a look with a glitter shadow last. I always want to finish with a matte shadow. So I'm just gonna go back into my Natasha Denona palette, and I'm gonna take that nice dark orangey color that we've been using this whole time and just pop that right on my outer corner again. I definitely got some glittery fallout from that Anastasia shadow. I think if I use those shadows in the future, and I'm pretty sure I said this in my last video, I want to do my face makeup second, but I wasn't planning on using that, so that's why I didn't. But yeah, I'm just gonna quickly blend out that outer corner. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some liner and some lashes, as well as some mascara, and we will come back to finish off the face. So before I put my lashes on, I just wanted to show you guys my liner. So I decided to try and keep my liner quite small, my wing quite small. I find them quite a bit more tedious and time consuming. So usually when I'm doing my own makeup, I end up with a bigger wing just because I find it easier and quicker to do, and I'm usually just trying to get through my liner. This is very a la my amazing friend Nikki. Shouts out Nikki if you're watching. She always does cute little winged liner like this. We used to work together at the Charlotte Tilbury counter. She freelances for Charlotte as well now. And she used to always tell me I could do little wings if I just practice. So I thought I would give it a little practice. And I thought I would show you guys my cute little wings before I pop on my lashes and likely cover them all up. Okay, lashes are on. I did want to quickly say for my liner, I did use my Maybelline gel liner in Black is Black. I used this for years and years to do my winged liner, and then recently I had switched to using a pencil because I was digging more of like the smoky liner look. But yeah, I used this a couple days ago for the first time in ages, and I kind of felt like using it again today. I have quite a bit more control with this than I do with the pencil. So because I was actually trying to focus on my liner, I went with this guy right here. Let's finish this puppy off. So I normally would do like a peachy blush. I'm very monochromatic, you guys know, but the look is very fall and we're definitely going into spring here. So let's try and perk things up a little bit. I'm gonna take this cream blush. This is from a brand called Catherine Isabella. And I'm going to just pop my brush into there and tap that onto the apples of my cheeks. I'm keeping this pretty high up in this area here as well. So it's quite pigmented. That was quite a bit. I'm just gonna take my foundation brush and just really lightly blend it out and kind of go over top of it with my foundation brush to kind of tone it down a little bit. And then for highlight, I think I'm gonna use an oldie but a goodie. I haven't whipped this out in ages. There's just so many good highlighters now. This is Champagne Pop by Becca. And I'm going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones. And then with whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna highlight a little bit above the arch of my brow. And then I'm gonna take that onto the inner corner of my eye as well. Okay, so let's do my lips. I could go a couple of different ways with this. In the vein of the fact that this look is very fall, I'm very tempted to have a little walk of shame moment, which is kind of like a brick red. But let's do something different. Yeah, let's do something a little more pink that will go with that pink blush. This is Pink Venus lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury. And this lipstick is called Sexy Sienna, also by Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, I'm pretty into that. This is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have lots more content coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss it. Please give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it too, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.